Well, you made the call tonight because you had a bottle of High West.
High West night tonight, yeah.
And I had a bottle of High West that we were going to use, so it's a High West night.
Yeah, and again, traditional fundamentalists be damned, because this is good whiskey. It's
100%.
And it is bourbon the way they make it, but I was reluctant, and there are a couple Colorado ones that I really don't like. This is in Utah, and it's the first Utah I've ever had. I don't think I've ever had another Utah bourbon since.
I don't think I have.
It's good.
I love their double rye. Like it's a good mixing rye. I do not sip that rye because it's a little spicy, extra spicy. Yeah, but this has been great. Why don't we? What's yours?
So they're both this newest collection of theirs. Mine's the cask collection. I think yours is
Barrel Selection. Barrels. I think Barrel Select.
Yeah,
but
this one's finished in Chardonnay, and that one's finished in port. And so when I first went to the store to get the Chardonnay one, I was like, I've never had whiskey finished in white wine barrels, only in red wine or sherry or port. And I knew that the flavor came from that. So I was like, this is weird. But I talked to Colonial Wickers in Nashville off 8th Avenue, love them. And he was like, give it a try. He didn't have an open bottle, or else he would have poured me one. He's like, give it a try, you like it, and it's yummy. So we'll start with that one, sure.
Yeah.
I also, gracias. Last time there might have been some pool water in the cubes. So I washed the
or bad bourbon.
Or bad bourbon. Sure. We are not sure. What's funny is you got recommended that by the liquor store. What was the liquor store? Colonial. I went and got our Penelope bottle from Elixir, and I was like, "Hey, do you have any?"
That is a fucking pour. Jesus, it's a venti here, man. He gives himself like a little spittle on the bottom. Holy smokes!
Oh, Jesus.
I really like this bottle, actually. I just want to pawn this bottle off to somebody else.
That's exactly what's happened.
Holy
Cheers.
Shit. Cheers. I ain't even going to make it to the second glass tonight.
You're my patsies.
I'm excited because I've been just...
He covers my ice cube.
Yeah, he definitely covered ice cubes.
There's smaller ice cubes today.
Yeah, they are.
I've loved mine. As you can tell, I've been sipping on it, and I'm excited to drink this one.
Well, good news. I got that giant pour and I like it. That's because if I'd have got a big ass pour of that one we had a couple weeks ago, I'd be like, sorry, brother, but no, thank you. That is. I need to let it open a little bit, but just first sips, it's good. It's not super hot.
I
dig it.
I've had both now, and I will save my commentary but I'm interested to drink the port one after this. I think I like this one better.
So, again, the traditionalists are going to hate this. Number one, it's not from Kentucky. Number two, it's finished in something else.
Yep.
And so it's cheating to some degree. It's definitely easier on the palate. It's definitely a little sweeter.
Yeah.
And I actually get, as a bartender, someone comes to you and says, you want a Chardonnay, you ask two questions. Do you want oaky or do you want buttery? And
you're talking Chardonnay, like so I'm not wine. I'm not a wine drinker, but oaky.
Right? Somebody comes and says, can you recommend a glass of Chardonnay? You never just spit out a name because it's always one or the other. You like oaky or you like buttery, and the population, in my experience, has been pretty well split. There's some people who like the oakies, like Kendall Jacksons of the world, and then they like the other, like J. Lore is a good buttery Chardonnay, and Coppola, some good ones too. This, to me, I can taste the buttery Chard in this.
And were you able to look up and see if it
don't know? And I wonder even if it's controlled like that, right? I mean, you have lots of blends of mashes and stuff, and who knows if it's always
the same.
I can't imagine they willy nilly something like that. Right?
Yeah, but if you buy 100 barrels from of Chardonnay, I mean, you're probably right. It's probably tied to a single one.
I'm sure there's some, but this is very good.
Yeah. This might be my.
And it's 100 proof, so it's nothing.
It's not our weak ass 90 proof.
It's gotten hotter as we started doing this, right?
I keep going back to our text thread and where you're like, "Oh, that's 115. Oh, that's 107." And I'm like, "Yes, you have slowly converted us from the weak 94s and the 92s to a good 100."
We rarely go under 100 now.
Yeah, we are on a long streak of.
We did with the tequila.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, yeah,
That's
that's true. Yeah,
true,
we
true.
did that with tequila. No, the other night I just was just sitting around watching TV. Everyone was kind of in bed. I'm like, I'm pouring myself a small little one, and I grabbed my bottle of Benchmark, and I was like, 84. Why even bother?
It's a real nightcap. Yeah.
I'll fill a glass of it, apparently.
Man, I really do love this. Like, yeah, everything about it.
So I did genuinely want to keep talking about the contract stuff, that behind the scenes, that shooting. That's so time and a half, double time, triple time, quadruple time. And
I don't know if it hits quadruple. That I'm guessing
Hold
it
on,
does.
we got to give context because we were talking off air about this first, right?
Well, when did we start recording? Like, if you had recorded at the beginning, we kind of came in on a cold open.
We did kind of talk about it on a cold open, but context, we were talking about overtime, double time, triple time when it comes to crew on sets and how to navigate that. And
by this episode, you know what he does for a living, so this is not a complete...
This is all his equipment. We're just sitting at his house. Well, now when it was a little warmer,
we talked about it tonight. Yep. We were like, I was just lazy and didn't want to move any of the gear.
Tonight would have been a night we probably could have. I mean, it's still February, but this last couple of days have been gorgeous.
Yeah, and yesterday I literally didn't sit inside. Like I was out on the deck.
Even my parents up in the Dakotas. Well, I mean, my parents are not up there now. They're snowbirding right now. But my sister, she's like, yeah, it's like 52 degrees. Our snow is gone. It's in February.
There'll be one
in
more
North Dakota.
big one in like early March that'll knock your socks off.
In May.
Yeah. Gosh. But even here, I remember up in Jersey, the worst snowstorm we ever had was in early March, and it was, I mean,
nasty.
Feet of snow.
I remember really early, maybe late March, early April one that was like that rolled in. And then not only is it 10, 12, 14 inches of snow, but it's that wet, heavy heart attack snow, they call it, because it's not fluffy. It's not easy to shovel. So a lot of people die shoveling their driveway because it's so much work. But one of my friends got married in June, and there's just a light little dusting of snow on the ground.
No way.
For her wedding.
It's not okay. There are other places in the world to live, people.
Yeah.
Don't go somewhere where it's
don't gotta be that cold.
I'm scared. I'm hoping that we're out of the you look at this week, it's like 50s, upper 50s. I'm like, please give me 50s and give me cold but sunshine, because we have not had sun.
Cold and rain is the worst combination. I'd rather snow.
Yep.
Give me snow.
If it's going to be cold, give me the snow. Yeah. Or give me sunshine. I can do cold and sunshine.
Yeah, agreed.
All day.
Agreed. Just to give me a little bit of like hope in my life instead of dreary and miserable.
That was the hard part when we lived in Indiana, just off of Lake Michigan, man. It was battleship gray from Halloween to Easter. Just like that gray, overcast, nonstop. Never. I mean, it would get cold, weather, right? But it was depressing.
Pacific Northwest weather.
Okay, we talked last episode a ton about friendship when it comes to like male friendships, like how do you make friends, and like how we've like valued this. To turn that whole conversation on its head, not saying that we're breaking up or anything.
Hope you enjoyed it. We had one season. We're done. No, just kidding.
Side story, before we get into that, we recorded an intro after that episode, and we have to record the intro again because we were a little too tipsy.
No, it's because
it's because my mic got unplugged.
And I was too impaired to actually check the things after we stopped recording. But
we all can walk home after this. Don't worry, no one's drinking and driving. Right. We're good.
Correct.
Don't do that.
Don't
fucking do that.
No, 100%. I can pee on Nate's house. I could probably pee on Brian. Like
with the wind blowing just right. You can hit Brian's too.
But to turn that whole conversation about friendships that we have, I want to talk about two kind of courses. How do you manage your friend, or how do you manage your wife's friends, and how do you manage your kids' friends? Now, I say that in the all sweetness of a husband who loves his wife and loves his partner. There are certain friends that she has that are great humans and great individuals. They're not toxic, but I could take them or leave them. And their husbands, I could take them or leave them. And so how do you, and even maybe even a step back, especially with like older kids, what do you do when you don't like your kids' friends?
The children or their parents?
Both.
Oof.
Or either. Both or
Fucking
either.
Koa, what a dick, the little boy.
Hey now. That is really hard. I can honestly say I've been really fortunate, especially with there's been a couple of my kids' friends, and it tends to be more on the boy side than the girl side, that I didn't like. Not because necessarily my kids don't tolerate mean. Like they don't like that, but they've been extra wild. And they notice we point out to them how they're getting a little bit, hey, you know, when you hang around with this one, how much more trouble you get into?
Yep.
You don't get into trouble with those other kids. Now, are you the one causing the trouble? Because maybe it's you. Maybe you're the best. Maybe, you know, maybe you're...
Same thing we talk about with bullying. Are you hard to identify? Are you or are they, you know?
And so that's kind of the approach for the kids we've always taken. Like, hey, you know, when you hang out with little Bobby, that's when you get in trouble.
There is a...
Now, you can not like a kid. That's a good kid.
Yeah.
Right? Then you can't really play that game. There's been some...
Check.
You know,
got one of those.
You'd be like, oh, that kid's just an idiot. Right?
Yeah.
But...
Nothing terribly wrong. I was just... Nah.
Well, yeah, there's been a couple of just blech friends.
Yeah.
Like, I guess if you like a blech friend, then,
fine.
you know, whatever. I can't get too upset about that. But I also...
It's interesting.
Like our old neighborhood, we lived too far away from their friends to where they could walk and just show up at your door.
Yep.
So I'd be like, I don't really want to drive over there today. Sorry, you know,
Not here.
kind of a jerk. Here, here's a little different. I don't know if you have noticed every day about 2:45, thump, thump, thump,
Yep.
thump,
Yep.
thump, the basketball game starts in my backyard. I don't know most of those kids, and my kids aren't even home.
Yeah.
And
That's the fascinating part.
and
It's
then-
like driving. I'm like, nope. They're just playing.
None of mine. However, I've gotten on them a couple of times for just being shitheads, for leaving their trash laying around, just rolling, not getting on the street when cars are going by, just like dumb shit. Yep. And for a while, I think they were scared of me. They would leave. I'd like come on, they'd be like, they'd leave and stuff. And one day I was like, you don't gotta leave. Just don't be an asshole. Like when I come by,
Number one in my
when
house.
I come by,
Don't
just
be an
say,
asshole.
hey, Mr. Schwab, you know, how are you? I'm good. Enjoy your game, right? Pick up your trash. We're fine. I don't care if you're out there playing.
Yeah.
So, I'm not sure if I answered the question.
No,
you did.
there's all sorts of examples in there, yeah.
The talking to your kid about, hey, you get in trouble, like it immediately sparks something in me, because I have to walk a line carefully here.
Depends who your viewers are going to be eventually.
Right.
One of my children have a friend, and that they continually make bad choices when they're with that friend.
Yep.
But when they're with another friend, they're on time, they're on punctual, but it's the other friend, and I'm like, to the point where I almost slipped. To the point where
She.
they
They then
they
pronoun is perfectly acceptable
they came
here.
home late again. Like we haven't gotten a watch, or like a smartwatch yet, and we've given them a time watch so that they can understand time.
like it.
And we set an alarm that says, "Hey, you have to be home
It's awesome.
at 4:30."
I like that. I like that in its own. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I like that in its own because it's an extra layer of their own responsibility.
Correct.
If I got to call you to get back, then
That's
you've
our
already
thing.
you've already gone past that or are oblivious, and I'm trying to teach you first self-awareness and then
Well,
that you
and
got
the
to check
concept
in.
of time, like
Oh my God.
it's going to be a thing you have to deal with all your life. If you can manage your time well now, I am setting you up to freaking be done at work
to be
by
better
10 a.m.
to be better than
Right.
8 out of 10 people.
Oh,
You'll
yeah.
be better than at life than 8 out of 10 people if you just know how to manage time.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so my child chose to be late. Like,
God damn it, cat!
It's fine.
Right on the bag.
She chose to be late. Like, she was an hour late. And we are one of those people where, all right, like we give you a 10-minute grace period, and then anything past that, you're just going to dig your grave.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I can't wait till curfew steps in when she is a teenager.
Yeah, you only have he's, so you're good.
That's
for
right.
yours.
Oh, I will lose it. But we're hoping we're curving that now. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And, like,
better
we're
get that
trying
in elementary school before it's like a 4 a.m. when they're in high school.
100%. And so she came home, and she's like, and Aaron was like, "You're late," and she's like, "Yes, I know." Oh, and
Deal with it, bitch.
You're like it was a little bit, but to the point where she was honest with us. She's like, "I heard the alarm, and I chose not to do it," and I'm like. Like there's a level of it that we've talked about this. Like
that's better. That's the right answer.
Correct. Like
answer.
Like pisses me off.
That's the right answer.
And she's like, "So I guess I'm grounded for a month." And I'm like, "Yep." Like that is like we've had that consequence in a week and a half, and she was doing good,
right?
And she didn't show a pattern where that month is away, and so she's like, "Guess I'm not playing with my friends for a month." And I'm like, first of all, I don't know if that punishment is big enough because
it's not a deterrent.
Enough,
right?
Or I've given you too much grace, and you're like, she's already asking to play Minecraft. I'm like, "Nah, you're not playing Minecraft right now." And she's like, "Why? I'm double punishment." I'm like, "No, you have chosen not like. You don't get one great like. It's just not the way it's.
They're both playing with your friends.
But there's something about giving the right answer like that because there's so many other ansers.
Yeah.
One was I didn't hear it.
Oh,
the other one was
I took it off.
There's all of the dishonest bits. Then there's all of the but.
Yep.
The justification bits. The honest, own up to it, my bad, like, woof, there's something to be said for that.
Well, and she has done all the others, and she knows, and we've talked to her about this. Lying only gets you further in shit.
That's right.
Like, I blow up when you lie. Like, when you tell me the truth, I'm like, I check myself because I'm like, you were honest. Like, and if we're going to have a healthy relationship as you get older, honesty, no matter what, like, I think one of our friends that's an older couple talked about this. They're like, you can call me anytime, any night. Like, if something went wrong, I will be there to pick you up. Like, that's like, whether you feel shame or not, we won't talk about it. Like, I promise you, we won't talk about it that night. We will have a conversation in a couple days around the road. But, like, and she's like, it saved my son. Like, just being open and being like, okay, like.
It's, to me, the honesty gets you parole.
That's a good way to put it. You're still in trouble.
Dishonesty is you are, this is it. It's bad, and that's that happened. You're honest. You did something wrong, knowingly did so. In trouble, but you get parole. Now, and it's up to me. That's a discretionary thing, right? You're the parole board.
Judge and jury right here, buddy.
Determines. But, man, what strikes me, especially at that age, is that it was the right answer, man. Because even my kid, I have one child who is like would die before lying, and the other one who loves to try.
Right, see how far I can push it,
and not on the big things, never on the big things, but I'll have to say, final answer, and he knows. Final answer means I know the fuck you're lying, you asshole. Final answer. No, that's not what happened. Okay. Now, and it's in between because again, at their age, you don't expect them to be angels. You don't expect them to understand the consequences. And nothing we're talking about is, hey, I killed the guy. Did you really?
Oh like, shit, we're gonna bury somebody?
It's really low hanging fruit, easy life lesson stuff.
Yeah, but you don't want them to get good at the low hanging fruit stuff.
No.
It's a pathway to getting good at the big stuff. You
know?
know?
I guess. Man. Again, it's grading on a curve to some degree, right? It really, nothing we're talking about is serious at all, other than look me in the eye, final answer. And if at that point you lied, now we're at a different level, and we never really got into that. It's kind of like, hey, it'd be like, I'll be in this room, hey, did you do that? Yeah, totally did. And then it's like eye contact, final answer. No, I didn't. Okay, like, come over here, let me beat the shit out of you for a little while and go. But the problem is beating the shit. Like, they love that. They love being playing physical. So, that being said, and Abby, if you're watching this, will hold me to it. I need to do a better job at that because it's more. It should be more than a wrist slap, and for me, it almost feeds into. Like I said, we'll play rough, and they'll know that I'm not. They can tell very quickly if I grab their arm whether I'm serious or whether I'm playing. and they're both super physical because they love being physical. So in both cases, it's physical and it's there's some dad strength in there, but they know if I'm fucking around or not. And Abby sees it every once in a while, and she's like, "That was the response that he wanted at that point." And so you fed the beast a little bit, and I need to do a better job at that because I know it's not a big deal in the grand scheme of things, but like you said, you let that not a big deal slide, and the bell curve starts going this way a little bit. I totally need to do a better job at that, but
a lot of the it's not a big deal stuff is because of their age, right?
Yeah,
they don't have the opportunities to get into the big stuff, so you can set them healthy boundaries at an early.
Did you do those lines or not?
So when you do,
you snort those lines. They were there.
Hey, why is my mirror dirty?
Final answer.
I can see it in your mustache. Anyway, but I mean, it does set those healthy boundaries for them. They're in middle school and the problems get bigger, and then they're in high school and the problems get bigger, and then they're in college and they don't live at home anymore, and then you have to rely on them reaching out to you to tell you that they have, and then there is no looking in the eye. What, on FaceTime? Oh, sorry, Dad, my computer cut out. How are you going to do that, right?
Good point, but that's going to be different when they're there than when we were there.
Well, yeah, the new Apple glasses, where the fuck they are, just came out this week.
Vision,
for $7,000 or how much? $3,000.
I'm interested because when we went to college, I got my first cell phone when I got a car, and that was you're going to be somewhere. It was the first one. I had the the StarTech.
Yep.
Motorola StarTech, awesome phone. T9. If you guys don't know how to T9 text, then you guys are fucking missing out because that was the shit back then.
I bet, and the kids would be like, "Oh, I bet you voice dictate."
Yeah, right. No, we had a touchscreen.
No, but I remember that was the same phone I had when I first went to college, and it stayed powered off in my dorm room, and it was a pickup if you need it, right? Mm-hmm. And so you're right.
Yeah, because you couldn't use it until after 7 o'clock when your minutes were free.
Yeah,
otherwise you had 400 minutes a month.
Yeah. Unreal. Yeah. Unlimited voice text data is such a new novel concept. You guys wouldn't have to know. I have to go on this tangent. It was worse in Europe. I lived in Spain for 6 months, and this is while I was in college. And it was just, data was super expensive there. And the guys that I met that became friends with while I was there had an amazing system. It was called a toque. So toque is Spanish for touch. And so if somebody knew that you were coming to get them, they would call you. You would purposefully not answer, but that was a signal that I'm ready for you. Come on down. So you didn't have to make the phone call. You didn't have to spend on a text. It was like your communication. So when we were young, it was just like, hey, after school, I'm going to be here. Mm-hmm. And so there was no changing those plans.
Yeah.
No.
Like maybe you had access to a rotary phone in the locker room somewhere at the high school, right? But that was that. The next step to that was what these guys did in Spain. We're going to make plans, and the execution of these plans are going to be with cell phones, but we're not going to use any data or call time. It was, if I call you, that was a yes. Like, dame un toque, sí. That means if the answer was yes, you're going to hear a phone call from me. If the answer was not, then not. Or I'm going to call you twice, and that was a no. Once for yes, two for no.
Yeah.
And it was fucking brilliant because I remember going over there on my own, like at that point I was sort of on my own dime, and I saw what, like, the unlimited monthly was ungodly. Like, nope. And then you paid for like 100 minutes at a time, and I was like, fuck, I gotta call home. Like, I can't be using these things. And I learned their ways, and that was just a cool way.
That's funny.
So back to what we were talking about is, can they look you in the eye and lie? The answer is now. You can absolutely do that.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
stare in your phone.
That's an amazing thing. Like, to say, like, hey, it's so, even myself, it's so easy to bullshit somebody on the phone. Mm-hmm. But if I were FaceTiming somebody and he's bullshitting, I'll absolutely be able to tell.
Right.
100% be able to tell.
That's a little different.
So that's a weird thing. Holy shit, man.
Well, and you said college. I mean, if our kids go to college at this point.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, I mean, there's that, yeah, right.
Yeah, like there's a level of it that, yeah, it's fascinating, the conversations. I feel like we say the small things.
It's fucking yummy, by the way.
Dude, it's so, I'm having to pace myself.
The other one's going to be
maybe you should have poured yourself a full glass of it.
You poured us a
Mega
gallon.
pint.
I mean, look at
Shout
that.
out Johnny
Look at it.
Depp.
It's like halfway down.
Yeah.
We
Shout out
were
Johnny
at the
Depp.
same level. So, but I don't know. Like, to your point, what's fascinating is I got to see your youngest as at PE with parents. It's because I was like they were paired up with at their class, and so I got to see him interact with other kids and how like it's fascinating to see third graders and then kindergartners because third graders take it so serious and like. There's some punk ass boys, and that like, your kid was not one like, but he was like he was competitive. Like I'm like
Yeah.
like very respectful, all that. But when cheating happened, I can see my kids flying off the handles because like they're like
That's not fair. That's not fair. That's not fair.
cheating!
Like cheated. Like Logan in kindergarten. Oh my dear Lord, it is absolute pandemonium. Like I played third grade first, and like we were talking about, we had lunch that morning, and like it was fine. We were knocking down pins. Like it was like, oh, this is cool. Like it was just fun. Kindergarten, nobody was in their hoops. Everybody was protecting the balls, not the pins. And it was just like absolute chaos. And Logan was getting real frustrated because there's this boy just walking around throwing balls, and you're supposed to stay in your hoop. But it's those types of conversations that I'm like, I see where discipline is at home by the way they handle a game. Like, like the way they're able to like skirt the rules. Like I'm okay with skirting, like lean as far as you can, but your foot's in. Like
Go get it to grab the ball and come back in.
You're thinking outside of the box. But when you're just like blatantly disrespecting the like, not even just blatantly doing whatever the hell you want. I'm like, okay, like there's. And discipline is a weird word because a lot of people think that it's like, oh, you're physically like destroying your kids with the butt whipping. But like, I think it's something that a lot of parents lack in general is like, I don't know, that's an overgeneralization, but like.
Anytime you think you're doing a bad job of parenting, go to school. Yes. Go to Cub Scouts. Go to anything else. Go to hockey. My oldest hockey coach is a younger guy, and you can tell he's a good hockey player growing up and semi-pro, whatever it is. And he's been used to dealing with 16 or 18-year-olds.
Oh, yeah.
No, and he sees these 12-year-olds. No, but even on 12-year-olds who are just dicking around while he's talking, and he flies off the handle. And I empathize. I'm like, holy shit. And then, but again, you think you're a bad parent, go to any like group gathering and you'd be like, I must be doing something right because that's not okay.
Yeah, and going back to the friend conversation, I have seen how Logan this year has shifted because he used to not lie about the little things. Like, but because he's surrounded by like the chaos of school, like we've talked about it, it's like the loss of his innocence, which is like, we got to mourn that as a parent. We're fine. Like, it's not like we're crying and sitting in the closet not doing anything about life, but you just mourn it as a parent. You're like, oh, this sweet kid is now like getting exposure to, and he went to preschool, but it was like a monastery school, which was awesome and like just controlled. And this is like
fucking anarchy.
Yeah,
it really
like
is.
Also
gives you appreciation for teachers. Like,
100%.
That's your job to deal with that shit.
Wrangling cats,
better
man.
you on
Wrangling
me.
cats will scratch you.
Good on you. Yeah.
Well, and say like I think there's a lady on TikTok that talks about she talks about the things she hears in the classroom. Like someone, like a guy slapped another guy's his ass, and she's like, hey, that is inappropriate. And he's like, no, I gave consent. And that's like we laugh, but she's like, how can I control a classroom where like that would have immediately gotten you sent to detention back in our day? Like, it's just like principal's office.
Yeah.
Like
done.
Yeah.
And so like there's a level of it, like to your point, like, and your wife's an educator, like in that sense. I'm like,
my wife came home the other day my wife is very good about leaving work at work. Like, she'll come home, occasionally she'll have like a project she's got to finish, kind of putting some stuff together, or she's got to go buy some stuff, but she's really good at leaving work at work. She came home the other day just hot. That's very uncommon. And I was like, what's wrong? I lost it today. I was like, really? Because you don't even lose it at home. Like, she's usually she's usually pretty even.
Yeah.
I was like, what happened? And she said, goddamn girls. And I was like, whoa, girls, what happened?
Bitches,
And she's like, it's this thing, the crossbodies. It's all that they're all wearing these crossbodies. Like it's like a Lululemon. It's a fanny pack, but they wear it over their shoulders. So it's a crossbody. But there's a Lululemon one. All these girls got it. And she said, they're in the back and they're doing their little girl thing, and they got their lip gloss and they got their everything else, and they're playing. And she's like, girls, that's enough. Girls, that's enough. Put them away. Come on, put them away. Well, then finally kind of got them wrangled. Well, then they started stealing. They started filling their stuff with all of her like Legos and putting them all in there. And she's like, I just lost it. Like, I was already mad that they were not leaving them alone. And she's like, I get it. You know, these are fifth graders. Some of them have girl products in there that they need, right? Because that starts in fifth grade. Yep. These ones didn't. They just had Legos. They were stealing my Legos. But I was like, awesome. Of all the things that
your Legos,
I could see
Lego my Egos,
right? Because it's funny because my wife,
it's fucking freezing in here.
It is really cold in here. But like with my wife's role at the school, she sees all of the kids K through 5. She knows them all, and she's got them for like a quick little period of time. But just some of the stories she comes back saying, you know, I laugh because I'm not there trying to wrangle the chaos, right? Like some of the things that they say, but some of that stuff.
It makes me uncomfortable when you go to when you go and you see children that are just, like you said, willfully disobedient. I love my nephews. One of them growing up was willfully disobedient. Do not do this, and you see him like while making eye contact. I'm like, dude.
Logan's getting that way. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I see it rubbing off. Logan is slowly like, Logan, go do this. Logan. And he's just like.
Ooh, we had a conversation the other night.
Yeah, well, it's not even, this is just like, how far? How far?
Yep.
And I'm like.
They're testing the boundaries for sure.
I am losing I was like. And I'm yelling, like, I hate yelling, but I'm like, Logan, like, and then he's like, and starts like emotionally crying. And I'm like, what the hell? Like,
my wife came home from work the other day, and she ran to get groceries, and she came back. She had a bunch of groceries in the back, and the boys were outside playing basketball. She's hauling a load in. Boys, grab some of the groceries, help me carry them in, and they both said later. They both told her to wait. And she'd had it been a day at school. She's usually pretty cool. And she came in and she dropped the groceries. She's like, take care of this, you know? And I was like, got it. So I went out, I got the groceries, and the boys were like, we were going to come. We were going to do it. I was like, I got it. Don't worry. Get them in. They come running in and start putting groceries away. I was like, no, go play basketball. And they knew, like, when I stopped talking to them, they were like, fuck. They both jumped in an Unreal. They're both playing Fortnite, ranking up in the middle of a match, trying to hit Unreal. Turned off the internet for him mid-game. What? I'm glitching. Look what happened? Because when you lose at that level, you start going down.
It's like 100
drop. And he's like, Dad, the internet's not working. And I just yelled up, I know. Later.
That's right. The little shit we could do to make their lives hell.
Right? And like the things that
so
like...
evil.
Sure, my parents could have unplugged my game, but they would have to walk into my room to unplug my game. Yeah. They couldn't have done it from their phone. Just, turn off the internet. Because I can do it enough by device, right?
That's right.
On my phone. Sorry, bro. Later.
Yeah, it's just so weird. Like, Logan is, I mean, he's also, you talk about your boys being physical. He is physical, too. And it's just, like, bulldozing. And, like, I love it to a degree, but also he hurts.
My middle one, extremely active when he was little. Like, still is. Like, he's still very active. But when he was little, so we put him in. He started in gymnastics, and then we started, and then his sister found swim, and we were spending so much time in the pool. We put him in swim, and man, the nights, like, if he stayed on his swim schedule, it was enough like of an energy burn to where we were able to channel that. But a couple of nights, a snowstorm would come in, practice was canceled, pool was being used for high school meet, whatever it was. He'd go to school the next day and the teacher would be like, what happened? I'm like, yeah, we missed swim last night. I mean, just like, it was man, that energy burn was crucial.
We're starting swim next week, just based off of our conversation.
At Goldfish or
Goldfish, just to get the kids like. Logan had
Is there a guppy level? Goldfish is the first level. Or is there guppies?
Goldfish is the company. It probably is company. I don't even know. So my daughter they pay their instructors really well for a bunch of high school kids. They pay them like
they're awesome.
$18-19 an hour because they take
they're liable too.
They take mostly swimmers in there. So the kids that are in there understand swimming.
Yeah. Well, and Logan had a scare on the cruise that we went on, where it was a little deeper. The boat was moving, and like he can swim, but he's not like super confident, and he just lost his confidence. And like, so we're like, well, let's burn some energy off. Let's also just Livy's not super coordinated and great, and so we're just like, hey, get him in the water. Kind of just taking a book or like a page out of your book of just like.
Well, my mom always says it's a life skill. Yeah, she's like it's like cooking or washing clothes, man. You have to know how to swim. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be good at it. You don't got to race, but you got to know how to do it. Yeah, and that was a lifesaver. How many people go to a lake or a beach or a pool as a recreation? I'd say most of us. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're not all beach people, right? But at some point, you end up around water or in water, and just to know that your kids can handle themselves. Now, they're not going to be out in 40-foot surf, right? But to just know that they can go to the pool with their friends and with a kind of side eye, you can kind of keep an eye, watch them. So it really is life skill.
Yep, 100%.
It's funny you say that it was on a schedule. Which day he missed swim? My kids are on a week on, week off schedule, and listen, mommy's a wonderful mommy, but I'm more physical with the boys than they are.
Yeah.
So when they come home to me,
they're ready. Right.
The first couple days of that week, you have to have romp around. So we used to have a code word for it, and it was, "Do you want to be silly on the bed?" And being silly on the bed was, I need to get my energy out. Mm-hmm. And it's funny how when I learned that, listened to a TED talk a long time ago of a guy who trained dogs to be like super intelligent dogs. And they'd come in with their owners and they say, the first thing we do, I say, I want you to get them fucking hyped up, like all four legs off the ground, jump, and then you can bring them down. But you can't bring somebody down unless you let them get it out, right?
A lot of guys I used to hunt with, when you'd go hunting with a dog, they'd run the dogs first.
Yeah.
Get about how long do you run until he takes a crap? We'd run him till he craps. That was the rule. So we'd go on a country road, kick the dogs out of the car and just drive alongside them, and they would just run and run, and then take a crap. Be like, all right, get in the car, let's go hunt. Yep. Right? And then they were finally calm enough to like work.
It is. There's something about getting it out. They need that. It's part of their schedule, part of their biology, and when you do, they're more, everything's just more manageable. Mm-hmm. Because otherwise, you can see them, and again, especially with my boys, the younger one especially, he'll start acting out because he knows it'll get attention, and then it'll get physical, and he kind of wants that. And even if it's not the right fit, there's good attention, there's bad attention, but innate in them is attention either way. Yeah. Yep. It's like no such thing as bad press, no such thing as bad daddy's paying attention to me right now. Yep. And so, especially on the front end of those weeks, we do more of that. The tail end, they kind of ease off, and I don't know exactly what it's like at mommy's side, and they're not aware of it, so I can't really talk to them about that.
Yeah.
But it's certainly when they come back, it's like, all right, let's fucking go upstairs, let's go.
Yeah, it is so true. All right, I think everybody's done.
I'm sipping the last little sip.
So, Chardonnay, right? Mm-hmm.
We're getting better / worse at this. More particular.
Definitely. Thanks for not using the pool water this time. There you go. So, you had a bottle. I don't remember when we drank it a few weeks ago, that you said initially when you opened it was garbage. Mm-hmm. As it sat open for a while, you're like, this one's really good. Yep. I kind of like to bring... I ain't gonna drink that. I ain't gonna drink that Yellowstone for a while, but maybe bring it back in a couple of months and be like, all right, let's try it again. Yeah. And see if it tastes like pool water again.
Still shit.
Well, that sucks.
Let's just pour his. Just he covered our ice cubes. I'm just gonna.
We're good. I don't need a covered ice cube. I gotta drive to East Tennessee early tomorrow morning.
Well, I actually
gotta miss the gym tomorrow. Not super happy about that either.
Okay. I'm interested to see y'all's opinion about this.
It smells different, and I haven't put my nose up to it yet.
Mm-hmm.
It smells like not like a dark cherry. It almost like not a dark chocolate, like a sweeter in like a plum sort of way, maybe.
I'm surprised they're not different colors.
They are remarkably close
Yeah.
to the same color.
I would have thought that the port wine would have taken more of that color.
I mean, you look at it through the lights too. Like this one. Sorry. Yeah, they're exactly the same.
This one, even though the proof is only, 2? There's a 102, 104, or 100 and 102.
Yeah.
It's got a little more burn to it.
Yeah, this
now,
one's-
you wouldn't think that little bit of a change. It has to be something different that causes that burn than just the straight up proof and the alcohol content, but it does got a little more burn to it. They're both very, very good.
Yeah. This one hits you in the back of the throat. Like,
For sure, though.
I definitely feel the burn. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I've felt the burn as much when I'm drinking it by itself, but now that we have it to compare to like the Chardonnay one, like.
So I used the word sweet for the first one. And maybe now having this, maybe that was the wrong word for the first one. Because this is sweet to my taste now.
This has like when you have like an ice wine. Or like what is it? Is it a port? Is a port the dessert wine? That's like the really thick one, right? I'm not a wine drinker. Yeah, you can pick
Taste
that
it.
out.
I didn't
You
check
can
the
taste
I didn't check the legs. One thing about port is it's like syrup, right? It's got legs for days. And this has got plenty of those legs.
Yep.
But this is certainly sweeter than the other one, but they're both sweeter than your flagship bourbon.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, but
But again,
I know you said you like the Chardonnay. I think I like the port. Just the Chardonnay is very good. I like the port just that little bit more because
I bet we'll see what that looks like when it melts too.
That's
I
what-
bet you that's
I-
going to change things a little bit.
I do like this one. I think what the Chardonnay one reminds me of is the ones that I do like. Like I like Blade and Bow, which it has a very sweet tea type taste. What was the other one that we had the other week that you brought? That was really yummy.
The Weller.
The Weller, yeah. I didn't like the Weller as much. Blasphemy. I know,
Yeah.
like the blasphemy, but I have started. What's fascinating is when we text today, you were like, I don't have any extra. Me and Brian were like, okay, we've got, but my selection is like shit. Like we just gotta keep looking on Facebook to find more.
find new ones.
The only reason is because we haven't broadcasted this podcast yet.
Yeah.
The sponsors are going to pour in. People
Smash
are
that
gonna
like
love
button.
it.
We need to get them up so we can get the sponsors.
Elixir Spirits. What's his name out in the front of the store? Steve Pope. Oh yeah,
right.
Just
Yeah,
Colonial Liquors,
Come on.
8th Avenue. We
Yeah.
love
Come
you.
on, we'll take you. We'll give you a
Old Fort. We
a
brought
big
some
shout out.
bottles from Old Fort.
All 14 of our followers.
That's right.
Yes. You know,
6 of which live in Williamson County. We'll come by your place. The rest of them are one guy's in Russia. He ain't coming over.
what's interesting is I taste this more after I drink it. Like this,
It hangs on.
definitely. Like I had to continually drink that to like feel the texture and taste. This one, I'm just like I also wash this around in my mouth a little bit more, but like I definitely it hangs on a little bit more.
Both yummy though. Again, not traditional. Don't care. They're good.
Man, I'm telling you that, and if you like ryes and you need a good cocktail mixer, the double like I have not been disappointed by anything High West has done so far.
Yeah.
Like now I've had 4 bottles, like their rye and these 2.
Did we have a High West one other time from one of our other episodes? I don't think we did.
I don't
did
think we
If we did,
did.
it would have been that one because that would have been in my house. But given
Yeah,
the amount that was
given
there,
the amount that was in there, we did not. So this is
Short part.
probably my first dabble then into High West. I'm a fan. Both, I mean, to have 2 different ones and both be very, very good. I'm a fan.
Yep.
it's
And that price point's not gonna break the bank either. $65.
yeah.
As you get more water in this, it definitely becomes even more.
Porty
Yeah.
becomes porty.
Yeah. And I don't know if I could have described that without the
first
the Chardonnay. Like,
I dig it.
yeah. Okay. We've talked a lot about our kids. Let's talk about a dangerous topic, the women in our life. And how
We love them a lot.
100%.
You do.
But how do you manage two things? How do you manage their friends? Not managing is a bad connotation. Maybe how do you enjoy the friendships that they have? Yeah, how do you enjoy? Because I have thoughts on that.
Well, I guess I do the same way she does to my friends, right? Mm-hmm. She needs her friend time.
Yeah.
I give it to her.
Yeah.
And there are times she'll have friends come over. Cool. I got Fortnite. I got to Switch.
Yep.
If I don't like it, I'm going to be like, oh, you need girls' night? I'll head on out. Mm-hmm. You know, I've been pretty fortunate. She's had very, very few friends that I was like, don't like that one.
Yeah.
Right? There's been a couple that are obnoxious.
Yeah.
There's been a couple that whatever, they're kind of blah.
It's just a different relationship. Like, you're allowed to let them be someone sort of different than they are with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they grew up with them, or they were there for the meat of their adolescence or young adult life, and it's just like, that's not like, I don't even the tone of your voice is different, your level of humor is different. Good on you. Go to her for that, not for me. Mm-hmm. And I'm cool with that. I can share this anecdote. I made what I'll call a fairly serious mistake early in my life with my ex-wife. In high school, we were high school sweethearts, and she had a best friend in high school that I just didn't, nothing against, just didn't float my boat anywhere. She died, liver cancer at 21, I think,
shit.
20 or 21. And that came back, so super tragic in its own right, super tragic for all of the friends, my ex-wife included, that were close to her at that point, but also because I didn't have that connection, that drove a little bit of a rift.
Yeah, I can
and
see that.
So that was a mistake. And at that point, young and dumb, didn't think much to say, if it's important to her, it should be important to me. Therefore, engage a bit.
Right.
So I believe in that to some degree. I also believe to each his own to some degree. Right? You can like it. You can like this whiskey, and I can hate this whiskey. It's okay.
Yeah.
You go do your thing. I'll do your thing. Same thing with friends. So to me, it's striking that balance. Right? You come across somebody that they've been with for a long time, and have a relationship with. Don't have to love it. If it's super abrasive, you need to sort of say that. Don't bring that into my circle. I won't bring this into your circle. Right thing, separate equal kind of thing. But it is a balance between understanding you need that. That person is somebody to you, has been somebody to you. I respect that, and I want to nurture that. Like you said, have that time together. You want to go there for a weekend? Go. Like, that's not a slight against me. But there are times where you can't avoid it, where you have to be in the same room, you have to be in the same environment, and you have to do more than stomach it.
Yeah.
Because if it becomes clear that you're stomaching it, that's just as bad as saying.
Well, I think we can back up to a previous episode where we talked about how do you introduce yourself to new people, how do you make new friends. I can generally sit down with somebody I don't like and wholeheartedly disagree with, and talk to them about things that we don't agree on. Yeah. I can do that. I can ask you. I can be interested.
Which is a skill.
I can be
without
interested,
being a condescending cocksucker. I don't know how you do. It's foreign to me. It's my thing.
Actually can. But if you looked at my podcast selection, you'd be like, what the fuck does this guy even like? It's like everything, right? It's all over the place. I can sit down and talk to, and I don't have to do it often. And I am, we've talked in previous podcasts about work-life balance, right? And it's not really a balance, it's a push and pull, but I'm a workaholic. And I will use that occasionally to get out of situations that I know I don't want to be in. Got to work. I have to be here. I got to be there. And it's like, I'm not sitting in, but when I say that to get out of a situation, I will then go work.
Yeah.
Right. I will be at
You're not
the place.
playing Fortnite.
I'm not sitting at home just, playing Fortnite
in your underwear.
Yeah, exactly. Or sitting around recording a podcast, drinking bourbon.
Which is work.
Which is work, let's be honest. But so, my workaholicness, my lack of life balance has come in
to work.
It's come to work for me at times, but there are times when you do have to sit there, and you can say it's with your spouse or your partner or your partner's best friend's husband that you just can't stand. But it happens at work too, right?
Yeah.
That one's harder to get out of because you have to sit there. You have to talk to. You're not gonna be a dick all the time. You can just ask questions. And,
it's not that hard, right? So I mean,
it's not that hard. Like that for a lot of men in general. Like if they would just live by that statement, it's not that hard. Like.
Find something. There's something in common.
So talking to just a story just triggered. Talking to a guy that I know who is now divorced. Mm-hmm. He was talking about a work function that he went to with his wife, and he was just pissed off about it. Oh, these hoity-toity assholes, blah, blah, blah. All they wanted to drink was their fancy wine, and I just wanted a beer, and they didn't have a beer, and I just had nothing in common with them. Dude, pour yourself a fucking glass of wine. You can do this for one night. Or drink bourbon. Drink, find stuff. I get it. You like beer. Cool. That's fine. But sometimes you can be a chameleon and just kind of blend in. And sometimes you got to do that for your spouse.
Yes.
Like, you don't got to do it. You don't got to be there's a difference between blending in and doing things for your spouse and being a pushover, right? Some people are like, oh, I'm a pussy. I got to do that. Right. No, fuck you, dude. You can.
So good.
It's part of being an adult.
It's part of it, right?
It's part of being. Forget about being in a relationship. It's part of being an adult, right?
Yep.
And I'm with you. You can turn anything into a learning experience. I don't like beer.
Yeah.
If I was in a spot where we were all drinking beer, I'd be asking questions. Tell me the difference. Is this normal? I taste this. Is that normal? No. Like, you could turn anything into saying, you know what? I left that situation knowing something different than I did before.
100%.
It's not that hard. Like I said, it's not that hard.
I'm going to throw it up. Be curious.
Dude, I will tell you, every time that pops up in my social media feed,
I watch it. The whole thing.
The
whole thing.
Ted Lasso.
I'm not a Ted Lasso guy.
Oh my gosh!
I need to watch Ted Lasso.
We'll have to show it to you afterwards.
It's funny because, all right, we've talked about this. I forget if it was on air or not, but I am stubborn. If I start watching a show, I have to finish it, and I'll hate you if you recommend it and I hate the show.
I'm confident you're going to love it. Well, there's a couple episodes because Apple TV made them do whatever 10 and they wanted to do 8. So there's a couple of filler episodes you're like, what the fuck? But from start to finish, it's one of the greatest shows
again,
I've
it's
ever
not
seen.
it's not just okay. The Office is a perfect example, and again, forgive us if we've already forgotten. We don't know what we talked about on air versus not on air.
Well, that's what happens when you're on glass two,
right.
and you know what?
And it's a half a gallon of pours.
You know what happens in real life? You repeat stories.
Piece of repeating shit. Tollgate Willie. Toll Booth Willie, sorry. Adam Sandler.
Tollgate Willie.
Piece of repeating shit. Well, I already heard that one. The Office.
My youngest is
The Office has jewels in it. Like beautiful, expert comedy. For like 6 minutes out of a 28-minute episode.
Oh yeah.
The rest of it, I want to.
Michael Scott can kiss my ass.
So when I started Ted Lasso, I watched, I think 2 full episodes, and I made a determination that was below my threshold of I got to finish this. And at that point, I said, "Man, there's going to be some funny parts of this, but most of it, I want to fucking punch somebody."
So you have to go in.
So maybe not. Maybe that's what I'm saying. Maybe maybe I got over the threshold. I would the proportion of good versus bad would even out, and I would enjoy.
I don't look at even though it is a comedy heavy cast and it is funny. Yeah. I don't look at Ted Lasso as a comedy. Ted Lasso is a drama.
Yeah, I agree.
And if you flip that, you go into it like this is a drama with funny parts, as opposed to like The Office is a comedy. Yeah. It's supposed to be a comedy, and it ends up being a drama with funny parts. Yeah. That's not a very good drama. Like it's got comedy gold for boom, boom, boom. But if you look at Ted Lasso as more of a drama that has funny parts, I think you got to kind of tweak it going in.
I can see why you don't like it though.
It's the premise is purposely awkward.
Yeah.
And so I feel that awkwardness. That's what I'm saying. I feel that awkwardness. And there's one thing and this is, of all the TV and film that I don't like dramatic irony. I don't like when...
Oh, that's what I'm
saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't like when the audience knows and the characters don't. And that's the basis of great literature, great cinema over the years.
Ted Lasso,
however,
I would argue...
However, you find out very quick, in what, episode 5 or 6... She tells him.
Mm-hmm.
She tell.
Okay,
So
so I may in fact watch
Right,
it,
right.
but that kind of that purposeful awkwardness that is put there, where you as the audience know something that the characters don't, it hurts me. It like digs it.
Okay, sorry.
So they play on that in the show though.
Well,
Like they
And I like
that-
I like the idea of playing on,
but what
like
side
purposely
of-
playing on things too.
Ted Lasso. Okay, let's just dissect this a little bit. And this is the tangent that
I have homework to do. I have to watch 3 episodes of Ted Lasso.
Well, I
before
have to
next
watch Game of
podcast.
Thrones, so it's always.
Oh my god, that's mandatory. Yeah, we're gonna watch it together.
What part of the awkwardness of Ted Lasso's story do
It's
you
been a
not
while.
like?
Sorry, so
You don't know.
This is great thing about this is what I love about TV and cinema is I can't remember what happened. I just remember the feeling.
Because
The last time to that feeling.
as I would say, based off of my knowledge of the first and second episode, it's the fact that you don't think he knows that like his situation of being a football coach in UK and football coach in US is just awkward. I think what you find out and what develops there is he understands that completely. He's running away from something.
Yes.
And like,
Okay.
correct.
like-
Yeah.
like-
Well, and you find
He's not
out
a patsy.
Correct.
And he knows he's not a patsy.
Correct.
And you find out why she hired him. Why she picked him purposefully.
It's not like Major League. Where
Right. No.
Okay.
No, no,
All right,
no.
You
Because
it does take
it had strings of
I-
Major League in there. I'm like,
I could-
that was
get
funny
str-
because it was a movie.
Right.
And that
Correct.
could be done in 2 hours.
I could see in 2 episodes you'd be like, I'm out. But if you stick with it, you find out like
Okay.
he understands.
And listen, I know enough people. Again, this is the disclaimer. I know enough people who have vouched for this show. Okay, and you two are now on the hook for it.
Oh,
So if I hate it,
I will
I'm
come
gonna
back
come
here.
back with the
I will come
fucking
back
fire.
here and listen
Well,
to some hate.
if you come back hating it, I'll be like, do you have a fucking soul? like, be curious. I mean,
Right?
Like, and you'll get that.
And I'll
like,
clearly
like-
understand that reference.
Which
later
I'll
in
show
my
you
life.
the clip afterwards because it's like it's standalone, like the clip alone. But
Well, you're talking about watching Game of, we joked about watching Game of Thrones with him. So I burned through a series this summer called Snowfall. It was on Hulu. It was on FX.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It was fantastic.
Interesting.
And so my wife, I didn't think she'd like it. So I didn't even tell her I was watching it. I just watched it at work, burned through all 7 seasons, watched the whole thing. Well, tonight we're just kind of laying in bed and she's like, someone at work told me I think I would like Snowfall. You think I like Snowfall? I'm like, I love Snowfall. I don't think you would like it, but I will. It's one of those shows that we can watch together. I've already seen it, so you can watch episodes without me, and I can jump in and know where it is. And she's like, all right. So she put on episode 1, and I was like, oh, I forgot. Oh, I forgot. Oh, and it was just like it brought back. It was like to watch Game of Thrones with you again, knowing what I know happens in the future. Because you've read a lot of the books, right?
I mean,
but a lot of
the first season, I will probably understand completely.
right. But you know how they blend different stories that don't match with the book that match to watch it again and be like,
genius.
oh fuck, I
Fucking
forgot.
genius.
Like to see other origin stories again for what? Because all I remember is where they ended. I don't remember how they started. And so to go back and be like, oh, that's why.
The ending wasn't written when they first started means you can follow that in a different way, right?
Yep.
And you can see where they fucked up. They should have put more emphasis on this.
Yeah.
They should have given more character development on that. Oh, man. Anytime you want, just call me. I would.
We can just start a secondary
Second,
podcast
of us just watching
of just reaction videos of Game of Thrones.
Time out.
No,
What?
no, because I hate my kids for watching YouTubers who just fucking watch other people.
Do you know how much money they make?
I hate it. I hate it with a passion.
Hey,
We could Twitch stream it.
this is where the entrepreneur comes
Yeah.
in. There is a money Ponzi scheme waiting to happen.
I hate those people.
We talked about this a little bit about the just get over yourself.
Yeah.
It's easier than you think. And I also think what I'm hearing and what I think a mistake I made early on in our marriage is feeling like her friends had to be my friends and they don't have to be your friends. And I think a lot of men sit in that section of like, well, I just don't like them. So like you can't hang out with them. You know what I mean? Like there's a level of like no, like it's okay to have couple friends. There's okay to have she have her friends, me have my friends. Like, and it's totally fine. Like your life is not consumed by each other.
No, and people that are like, I can't hang out with that guy. Dude, let's be honest.
Then you're the asshole.
Well, but like,
Yeah.
and maybe my life is different. Maybe I just am different. But realistically,
built
how many
different.
times a year are you going to hang out with that person? Twice?
Maybe once a quarter.
Maybe once a quarter for 4 hours. So 16 hours of your year to make your spouse happy.
That's what I was about to say.
Is it that big of a commitment?
To make a deposit in like your significant other or partner.
That's right.
Like
Really?
life.
I mean, really, it's 16 hours. That's a long shift at work. You pulled the double. One fucking day.
And again, I'll go back to it's the difference between putting a face on and actually just grinning and bearing it. Like going in there.
No, you're right. Because
if it's clear that you're like,
fuck that guy and just sit in the corner. Yeah.
You know?
No, there's been times when I've been the other husband, right?
Yeah.
When they didn't like me, and I'm like, you know what, dude, then don't fucking come.
Yeah.
Don't come.
Yeah.
Like, I get that you don't want to drink bourbon with me. That's fine. We don't have to drink bourbon. I'm not going to give you my good beer. We'll sit and drink Bud Light if that's what you want to do. Fine.
Yeah.
But like, open your goddamn mouth. Just ask me anything. You want to talk about MMA? I bet we can both talk about UFC. And we can both talk about NBA, NFL, whatever it is. We can
There's
find
either
something.
find something common or find something completely opposite. Either way, I'm happy to talk about it.
Right.
Well,
Like, we'll be like, fuck yeah together, or be like,
like,
you're an idiot. I'm an idiot. Let's go.
There was one night we went out, a bunch of people ended up in the same spot. We were all like friends of friends kind of thing. And a couple of us like hit it off real quick. And we're like, well, let's go bar hopping. So we all wanted to go bar hopping to bourbon bars and scotch bars. And like we didn't want to dive bar it.
yeah.
Well, the one guy wanted to dive bar it. And fucking he drug his feet the whole time to make sure we all goddamn knew he wanted to dive bar it. Every bar has Bud Light.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
every bar serves
And
Bud
Jack.
Light. And that's all you wanted to drink. You can drink that at a high-end bar or a dive bar. I can't get good bourbon at a dive bar.
That's right. Yeah.
So was it that big of a deal? Didn't just stay at the hotel. Don't do
Yeah.
that. I don't.
Like I said, don't be an asshole. Just don't be an asshole.
Also, don't. I might get crucified for this. Don't hold it over your significant other, or like your partner, being like, "Well, like I pulled a 6 or 4 hour shift of hanging out with your friends."
This
like,
this is not quid pro quo.
Correct.
This is not.
Like,
Well, it
Stop
could
being-
be. It could be.
Yeah, but-
because if you have that friend and you want to hang out in the same manner that they wanted to hang out, well, I guess maybe not.
but like at the
in
same
both
time-
But then it
cases,
kind of drags it down.
In
Yeah,
both
you're,
cases,
no, you're right. You're right.
It's part of the job.
right.
yeah,
Part of the job, and it's not that hard.
it is out of love that you do that for your partner. Like,
And not, but again, not for credit, not for.
correct.
Yeah. No, there's no score.
Like,
You start keeping score, you get in trouble real fast.
Totally agree.
Real
totally
fast.
agree. Because, yeah,
Because I'm winning. Let's be honest.
that's right.
I'm
Hashtag.
so far ahead.
Are you bipolar? I'm by winning. Love you, Charlie Sheen. And again, what the fuck is wrong? Like talking about, but that's actually a really good example because there are certain things. Excuse me. There are certain things you do.
Heavy pours.
There are certain things you do out of principle, and you dig your heels in.
Yep.
And there are certain things that are just not worth the fight. I love the fight. I love come at me, bro. And it's not antagonistic. It's not a show of power. It's just what I like to do. Like I love disagreeing with people and going back and forth, right? But when you just dig your heels in just cause,
Right.
there's
it shouldn't even be a fight. Like, there's a
threshold, right? Like I'm not gonna kill somebody. I'm digging my heels in. I'm not gonna kill somebody. Short of that, it really is like, all right, I'll be a Huckleberry.
Yeah.
Like we'll talk about that. Let's do it.
It is just so fascinating how sometimes men put on this like martyrdom of like, well, I did this, therefore X is what needs to happen. Like, you need to let me go play video games for 72 hours.
No.
Like,
no.
like,
Yeah,
no,
like, you're right.
you know,
right.
like, don't, like you were saying, don't keep score. Sometimes fights are good, and even like it's not worth the fight, it probably shouldn't even be like the fact that it's in your mind as a fight sometimes is just wrong. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like
You just positioned it.
You dug your heels in on something that was not worth. You dug your heels into something that you shouldn't have dug your heels in.
Like, you wanted to go to a dive bar because you wanted to go drink Bud Light. Go drink Bud Light at freaking Attaboys. Like, it's fine. Like, they're going to serve you alcohol. Like,
Right.
Get over yourself, like, a little bit. Sorry.
No, some of the speakeasies in town will not do that. You can't go to Patterson House.
I didn't go to fucking Patterson House. I went to a place. I didn't even go to like an OB Joyful.
Do you want to know what they hate at Patterson House? Ordering just bourbon straight.
Oh, I bet.
They're like,
I
no,
bet
no,
they
no.
do.
They're like, no. You have to order one of our drinks that takes me 12 minutes.
We need to make it an art for $47. That's gonna take us a week. Come back in a month.
Do you know, have you guys ever been to Attaboys? They don't let you choose your drink. Like, you're really? Like, I want. They're like, hey, what spirit do you like and what modifier do you like? And you're like, okay, I like bourbon and
sweet vermouth, yeah,
like our sweet or like a bitters.
Yeah.
And they're like, cool, here you go.
Old fashioned. Yeah.
Like, and I have never.
It's an old fashioned. That was
my way
for fucking everybody anyway.
I've never had a bad drink there, and they won't do it. Like,
where is that, boys?
It's in. Well, it used to be. Sorry, it's in. Where did the tornado hit? West Nashville.
Oh yeah, like by like Germantown.
Yeah, like they're in that area.
Yeah.
And you have to knock. Like, it is a speakeasy. You knock, and like it is dark as fuck.
By the way, some really fucking cool speakeasies in Nashville. Old Glory.
Attaboys.
I was so disappointed the one in the basement of the hotel wasn't open when we went.
Oh, Noel.
The Noel, because we went, and she's like, "You're trying to get the Noel, aren't you?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "It's closed this week." I was like, "Fuck, why?" And she's like, "Because we're turning it over for Halloween."
Dude, they go hardcore. It was a rainforest last time I was there.
Really?
Like, hardcore
So
rainforest.
we did do
the red booth, the phone booth.
red phone booth. Fucking cool. However,
They chipped their own ice.
unrelated to the red phone booth, really cool experience. I am confident our friend got roofied. Walking up to her because
good endorsement. Everybody go to the red. Bring your girl.
Hold on. Not at the red phone booth. Not at the red phone booth. We were bar hopping downtown Nashville and drinking beer, like just having a good night, and we're just hanging around. Everyone's doing good, and our friend went from fine to fucked up. Like from the time she walked off the dance floor to outside,
And not drinking 100 proof bourbon.
no, drinking beer.
Yeah.
She couldn't walk. And so we had to carry her, and we're like, holy shit. Like, that was straight. So then after she was fucked up like that, then we went to the red phone booth, and she was like this and the red phone booth. So we couldn't even, like, I actually ordered a non-alcoholic drink there. I got a non-alcoholic, I don't even know what it was. It was fantastic.
Shirley Dimple.
It was, was it Shirley Dimple? No, it was, they made me something, whatever it was. It was wonderful. And I love the smell of cigar smoke, like that tobacco smoke, and you can smoke in there. And it was, I want to go back when I'm a little bit more sober, and I can.
But I've never been to
really
Red. Like, only speakeasy I've been in Nashville is Attaboys.
Okay. Old Glory in Edge Hill
Okay.
used to be, so it's an old industrial laundromat, basically.
Dang.
like Breaking Bad,
But it's the ceilings are 50 feet tall.
and the meth is in the basement.
Fucking, oh my God. Fucking fantastic. Old Glory. If I ever get married to Abby, that's where the result.
I'm sorry. It's where's this again?
Edge Hill. So if you take 12th south or 8th away from town,
Okay.
south, it's Edge Hill is one of the little things. There's Barcelona, which is a beautiful tapas bar for.
Yeah, I mean, Barcelona
yeah,
is
I know it's I know what you're talking about.
is a good
Wait,
Mediterranean
I know what
place.
you're talking about.
And Old Glory is if you go to the bathroom at any one of those places, a third door leads you into the street.
Oh, okay.
Fucking fantastic. Old Glory is awesome. Patterson House is an old house that they turned. You go in and it looks like a library.
Isn't there like a really cool restaurant above or below?
So the catbird seat
Catbird seat.
again. Hashtag catbird seat. It's the most expensive meal second most expensive meal I've ever had. But we were there for like 6 hours. I feel like,
Right.
and there's no menu. It's just like whatever they feel like making
the
today.
chef. That's the one where you like sit down and a chef.
And it was a tasting menu, and we had the pairing, the beverage pairing, and it was just fantastic. Great,
Oh, man, we
great.
in Chicago.
Yeah, love it.
Catbird seat, is that what?
The Catbird seat off a Division
Seat.
and then it's Patterson House right there. Red phone booth, Old Glory. This place, shit. No,
You
has something to do. Has something to do with cards.
House Cards.
House Cards.
It's fucking cool. Yeah. So we did my daughter's birthday there last year.
Really?
Believe it or not, yeah. So they will allow.
Just in context, your daughter is
in high school.
Yep, correct.
Yep. So on Sundays, you can go for their Sunday brunch, and you don't have to be 21. She was not drinking. However, you have to dress up. But that is, I tell everyone, like, make yourself a reservation, go to the House of Cards.
Cool.
It is fucking cool.
And they have magic shows every Friday night or Sunday.
Good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say the food is great. The food is good. The atmosphere, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Drinks, 10 out of 10.
Yep.
But that up close magic, fucking mind blowing.
Yeah. Yep.
When they're in your face, like if you go there for your birthday, my wife signs a card, right? He puts the card in the deck and he shuffles it around. He's like, "Is this your card?" And she's like, "No." He's like, "Is this your card?" And she's like, "No." He's like, "Check your pocket." Fucking, how the hell? Like, I mean, it's like, it was. I mean,
I'm a sucker for magic. I just watched Now You See Me Part 2.
You are the devil. Yeah, it was fucking cool.
Some
Here's some witchcraft happening.
I'm a fucking scientist, so I have to know how. And about half the magic I see, I'm like, I know how you do that. The other half that fools me, I'm a sucker for. I'm such a sucker. That's exactly right.
Well, we talked about this. Going back to our earlier conversation, in hindsight, like, you can probably get along with anybody because you look at our backgrounds, it's like
way all over the place.
Like, we're doing a podcast with a freaking doctor and physicist. Sheldon Cooper.
That's right.
Leonard. We'll give him Leonard.
I'm having him. I won't claim either one.
Master's in chemistry? Like,
doctor.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm a fucking filmmaker.
First of all, I have to. So I don't know if I have no idea if we said this on camera or not. I was doing some videography work with third party for my company, and out of thin air, I was like, "Hey, what kind of camera are you using?" I texted you. I said, "What kind of camera do we use for this?" And he's like, "You have the most high def podcast in the world." So cheers to that.
Technically, we don't because I up-res our tight shots to be 4K, so it's fine.
What the fuck? Why even shoot like this then?
Yeah.
So I can up-res our close-ups so that we can only shoot on one camera. So I can go tight on you, tight on you,
you guys
tight
get
on
that?
me
You get
with one
that?
camera.
However,
See?
this is the
Inside
most
baseball. Back to the beginning. Full fucking circle.
Full fucking circle.
No, so you talked about just totally unrelated tangent story. You talked about the most expensive dinner you've ever had. So there is a restaurant in Chicago called Alinea.
Oh yes, Chef's Table. I want to go.
So Alinea has at times been named the #1 restaurant in the world.
Correct.
They're consistently a Michelin 3-star. They have a
Pellegrino top 10. Yeah.
They have a
master, or what is it? Chef's Table season 2, best episode.
So they have a sister restaurant called Next.
Yep.
Next will never get a Michelin star because now they may have one. I might be speaking out my ass, but when we were there, they told us we'll never get a Michelin star because one of the requirements for get a Michelin star is consistency. Right. And every 2 to 3 months, their menu fully changes. Like
that's awesome.
They dump it and start over, but it's Grant Atches.
Yeah, Grant
Atches is the chef at Alinea. He's also the chef at Next.
That's sick.
And so Next is a tasting menu, and for the 4 of us to eat was like $1,200.
Yep.
Yeah.
But fucked. We walked in. It was just. We walked in. We had reservations. We had tickets. You don't get reservations.
Yes,
you
correct.
So we bought
It's an
tickets
experience.
because we fucking bought them like 4 months in advance.
Yeah, of course.
We bought them. We paid for the alcohol pairing. No, we paid for the non-alcohol pairing. But next door is their bar called the Aviary, which is
Where the birds live.
it is
Or where you get Jen.
no,
That's what
but
it
it's
Aviation.
not aviation, aviary. Hey, Ryan Reynolds, if you want to
Yeah,
sponsor us, go ahead.
Deadpool.
Welcome to Wrexham.
We fucking love that show.
That is so good.
Welcome to Wrexham. Must watch. Game of Thrones. Welcome to Wrexham.
But anyway,
so
Aviary,
sorry, not
next
even
door,
on the same
next door.
level,
Like
sorry.
like you get drinks where they make your drink, and then they have a teapot of smoke, and the smoke pours over your drink, and that's part of the whole thing. Anyway, it's fucking cool. But we walk into, when we went there, the theme was Chicago Steakhouse. So it was fashioned after like a 1920s Chicago steakhouse. We had steak, obviously, but we had like trout or salmon Wellington, and it was, we were there for like 4 or 5 hours.
It's an experience.
You're not going there to eat. You're going there to it's an experience. It was one of the best money I've ever spent. Anyway, when we finished, we're kind of looking around. There were some good friends of ours, and we're looking around, and we're kind of the only people there. Like our reservations were like 10 o'clock at night, so we didn't get done, or maybe 9 o'clock at night. We got done like 1 a.m, and our server comes out and he's like, "Want a tour?" Fuck yeah, we want a tour. He's like, because I'm done for the night, and you're kind of the last people in here. He's like, so let's go. So he took us in the kitchen. He took us in the basement. He showed us.
Holy cow, that's like a once
Oh my God!
in a
And what did you think?
Kitchen was fine. Basement was cool. It was what he said that blew me away. So we walk in. He brings us our water. Our water's in these big tall glasses, and it's got 1 ice cube in it. And I'm like, that's kind of cool. He's like, yeah, we have an ice cube artist that shapes the ice cube for every glass you get. I was like, what the fuck? And then he's like, and then we sit down and we eat. And as soon as we finished, our next, like, it was maybe like a 1 or 2 minute delay, and our next course was there. It was perfectly timed. And it perfectly timed. Yeah. And it was like, I think it was a 12-course meal.
Yeah.
15, 16. I mean, and like everything's small. They come on explain it, blah, blah, blah. And it's just the food is just mind blowing. But we're talking to him afterwards, and he's like, we're like, how did you do that? Like, how did you time it? He said, well, we watched you come in. I'm like, what do you mean you watched us come in? He's like, well, we watched you come in. We saw that you were clearly 2 couples who were friends. We knew how fast you were going to eat. And I was like, what? And he's like, oh yeah, we
analytics.
He's like,
sabermetrics.
It was analytics. He's like 2 heterosexual couples that come in and eat this fast. 1 heterosexual comes in and they're in a good mood. They eat this fast. If you can tell they're fighting, they eat this fast. If they're homosexual couples, they eat this fast. And I was like, and it was like, and they fucking nailed it. I was like, hold on.
Gotta love it.
You've been watching me since I was sitting at the bar across the street. He's like, we know everything about you. So if you have seen The Bear, season of The Bear, when
they ran the table in the Emmys this year.
Oh, good for them. They should have.
The Christmas scene
when
I haven't seen every season. Don't screw.
Okay, so cousin leaves to go get a job at what. They don't ever say it, but
doesn't leave. He gets pushed.
He gets pushed to go get a job somewhere else to learn how to run it. But it's supposed to be like it's supposed to be Alinea is what it's supposed to be because they're in Chicago. And like the things he learns, I was like, holy shit, that like actually happened.
Exactly right.
It was just,
and he brings it back. Gotta see it. Season 1 was awesome.
Yeah.
Season 2,
they're definitely growing.
Next level. Like again, tension.
They bring Jamie Lee Curtis in.
And I think she won. I think she
did.
I'm telling you,
not supporting. What would have been like?
No, it might have been supporting actress because that episode where she was fundamental to it was powerful.
I know a lot of people that stopped watching it that episode
because it's so awkward. It's awkward is the wrong word. It is so
intense,
tense and intense. Yes,
but if you've ever lived in Chicago and met people from Chicago, it's that. They nail. So that's why my wife watches that show and she's like, I'm home.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm home.
That's why I never watched The Sopranos because my best friend in high school, love you, buddy. His name is Salvatore Master Giovanni.
Oh!
Okay. His entire family was in the construction business.
Oh, yeah.
And I never saw anything they built. Never saw anything built. Chicago. Dining in Chicago. The most expensive, I told you the second most expensive place I've ever read was Catbird Seat. Yep. Number 1 was Graham Elliot, 2 Michelin-star place in Chicago.
Graham Elliot.
Graham Elliot is, if you ever watched the Food Network, he's the guy with the cool
that's
white
the person.
frame.
What's the name of the restaurant?
Graham Elliot is a chef's name, and his restaurant was named after him.
Okay.
He's the white frame glasses guy. If you ever watched the Food Network.
I do.
Big fat guy.
I'm trying to mentally think through.
If you Google Graham Elliot, you'll notice him. That was my most expensive time. Two Michelin
Chicago and
stars.
New York are probably and sure, I've never been to New York. I can't really say, but man, there is a Michelin restaurant on every fucking corner in
It
Chicago.
really is.
I can't figure out if I've ever been to a Michelin
But again,
star restaurant.
Michelin star restaurant is
know.
one thing, right? 2 Michelin stars is next level. 3 is fucking godlike.
The one place I want to go to that's a 3 Michelin stars, the French Laundry. That is on my
Napa,
list in Napa, just to go out.
I
But there's
want to go Alani, like the
Alinea.
Alinea is.
There is a what is it called when you don't qualify for a Michelin star because of the type of restaurant you are, but you get like an honorable mention. It has a name.
James Beard? No, that's
No. It's like it's basically like the Michelin lunch. Like it's like you're a brunch lunch place, but you know if you were eligible for a Michelin star,
You'd
we'd
win.
give you one,
You'd win,
but you're not eligible because of the type of restaurant. Chicago's got like 100 of them, and like
Chicago's no joke,
dude,
Yeah.
food
No joke.
like Chicago from May to October, favorite city in the world.
That's right.
hands down.
Other than that, it's unlivable
Man,
because it's frozen.
Fucking cold as shit.
I will tell you, some of the craziest experiences I've had driving has been in Chicago. Like,
Right? My
Like-
dad still bitches about driving to Chicago. That was
No,
6 years ago.
we were. Oh, this is probably not a story to tell, but I'm telling it.
Do it.
Do it. You won't do it.
We were coming back from a recording, and there was 3 cars piled on the road. Oh, no police officers there yet, and we were driving around, and it was not the very pretty sight that you would want to see. And I'm like, only in Chicago. Like, I'm just like, holy cow! The things I've seen in Chicago is like unworld.
Talking about you give it the tour is the thing to do, right? We took a tour of the kitchen in Graham Elliot, and it was so.
He offered
Neat.
us a tour.
But that's what I'm saying. We had like the 8 o'clock seating. We lasted till 1 a.m.
Yep.
They were like, "Hey,
Yep.
nobody's here. You want to come take the tour?" And it was so like neat, so unkitchen like.
Oh,
It was like
I could've
station. It was almost like an office building.
Dang.
so cool. It was so cool.
It's funny
Gotta do it.
because we talked about friendship, Ted Lasso,
And food.
Game of Thrones, and now we're ending the episode in food.
You guys drank way faster than I did. Well, it's probably because I had a 20-ounce pour on the first one.
I mean, I'm like,
So the 2, we're gonna have a mini third pour, half third pour.
Which
one you want?
Half third pour.
Or which one you want?
Keep on it.
You want the Chardonnay, don't you? Me too. Goodbye.
maybe it's because I can't have the
Pour
pour.
myself a little bit. It'd be mini of that pork. Actually, I'm gonna give myself a little topper. I'll get it.
I'll go neat.
Here's the real test. That's right. Here's the real test.
I'll go neat.
Holy.
I've drank this neat, so like, holy shit, that's not.
It's mini compared to what we had.
That's a
This
freaking
is Sunday.
So
This is a
sorry.
Sunday night.
We have
Life tomorrow.
yes.
No, not tomorrow.
We have drank a full glass of whiskey, not 2 shots. We have drank a full glass. Of whiskey.
We have to record our
And
intro.
these are big fucking government glasses.
Yeah.
That's right.
We are going to. Nate's going to tell you what you should do as we end this podcast, and we go into the intro of.
Yeah, you need to smash that like button and subscribe and follow us. Comment. We will read your comments. We promise. We will talk shit
YouTube-
about your comments.
That's right.
You two will, because I like.
I
I
got
don't know how to
thick
read.
skin.
I don't know how
You
to
are
read,
the
so-
doctors.
I got things.
I am
have
the
had.
filmmaker.
I've had many people tell me to go fuck myself, and I'm okay with that.
Bring it on. Come at me, bro.
And we will call you the fuck out. So if you want to hear your name on our podcast,
Yeah.
do it.
And teach
don't
us something.
none of this anonymous bullshit.
Yeah.
Or if you got something you want us to drink, we'll drink it. We'll go find
if we
it.
can find it.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true. If you got a regional something, we need
Send it.
we need a PO box.
FedEx.
I don't want to give them our real address.
No, hell no. Hell no.
Give me your address.
With the fact,
Send
no.
it to town hall in
Hey,
Thompson Station.
if you find out my address, just -2, and that's Nate's address.
And then make it an odd number.
That's right. I'm in.
But thanks for watching.
That's right.